Shalom, shalom, yasharallah. I'd like to begin by saying I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the one and only true and living power. Okay? And the power, the God of the living and not of the dead, whose name is Yahweh. Okay? Whom the world ignorantly call God. And also his son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. Okay? That's not his name. His name is Yahweh Shai, and he is the true Savior, okay, of the nation of Israel, the true nation of Israel, okay, of the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, all right, 12 tribes, beginning with the elect, all praises be to them, all praises be to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Also, I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, all right, who rule well and who rule in sincerity, okay, in humility, who exercise proper judgment, faith, and mercy, and who are still doing the work. All praises be to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for giving us leaders like that. All right. A lot of Hebrew Israelite groups out there can't say that, or they'll say that, but it's not in sincerity. They know what the hell, they know something is amiss, all right, with their leadership. All right, they're just too scared or too blind to see, but those that do see what's happening, in time they will leave, whether they are the elect, a part of the elect or not. We believe that amongst these groups there are some sincere brothers and sisters amongst them, and if they are the elect, definitely they're gonna leave, and they're gonna cleave onto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, clean onto the truth, and the Lord will deliver them, right? Because the elect are allotted to be delivered anyway. So there's nothing that anybody could do to stop them from being delivered. Anyway, I'm the bishop teacher, also junior apostle of Great Millstone, right? Based out of New York. The Hebrew Israelite group known as Great Millstone, also known as GMS, based out of New York. Bishop teacher. I go by Bishop teacher Sakwa Run, and I pray that this lesson is edifying. This lesson is another M.O.T.B news lesson. Today's date is August the 8th, 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, all right? And I'm going to go into something dealing with the M.O.T.B. So I have something, queued up. And I believe there's a video in there. We're going to play the video, read the article. Lord willing, I'm going to put the link to the article in the description box below. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. And Lord willing, I'll get back to you on and respond to your comments on the comment board. All right, so let's go. This article is from thenextweb.com. It says TNW, which stands for what I just read, the Next Web. Podcast Jennifer Goodall on brain-computer interface tech. First robotic surgery on UK child. Sci-fi surgery. What it says here, sci-fi surgery, meteor showers, and Tau Day. This came out yesterday. And I believe this is, okay, so this is a podcast, so not a video. So let's hear what she had to say, okay? For those of you who don't know, brain-computer interface also is the prophecy coming to coming to real life, right? Realization. What St. John the Revelator, St. John the Apostle, saw concerning the M.A.R.K. in the book of Revelation, 13th chapter in the 16th verse. And they are hard at work. The children of Satan are hard at work at creating this thing, which eventually is going to become a global mandate to be put in people, so that the authorities, the elites of the society can rule and control the people even more so. Okay, which is the beast system. We're heading towards what they call a dystopian world, where these super filthy rich elites are going to have total domination over what they'll consider the peons, the super poor of the society. And the ones they're going to be targeting the most are the children of God, right? The children of the Heavenly Father, who are the real children of Israel, okay? Because it always been the heathens' plan to destroy the children of the Heavenly Father anyway, from the jump. So anyway, let's see what this woman got to say right here. Let's play it.
Hello and welcome to the TNW podcast, the show in which we discuss the latest developments in the European technology ecosystem and feature occasional interviews with some of the most interesting people in the industry. My name is Linnea Ahlgren. I'm the senior editor here at TNW.
I'm Ioanna Likardopoulou. I'm a reporter at TNW.
How are you today, Ioanna? Thank you so much for joining me now that Andre is off on his well-deserved holidays.
I'm actually glad that we're doing it together. I think this is our first time.
It is,
Isn't
indeed.
it?
Yes, I've only heard you guys do it while listening to it. So I'm really excited to be doing this with you as well.
Yeah, me too.
So in today's episode, we're going to, after the obligatory weather update in the absence of Andre, we're going to discuss the coming into force of the EU's landmark AI Act, robotic minimally invasive surgery, the Perseid meteor shower, some sci-fi fan stuff, and more. But first, just an update for everyone. In case you were wondering, the sun is shining. The city is pretty quiet.
Which is pretty great to actually be able to see that. Just walking, empty trains, empty trams. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not quite lockdown empty, which was a very special experience with entirely empty and beautiful and clean canals.
They were really clean, right?
They were. So, in this episode, you will also hear an onstage interview with Jennifer Goodall, CEO at Mind Effect, a brain-computer interface startup that develops hearing and vision diagnostic systems for hard-to-test patients. And Joanna, I believe that this was you talking to Jennifer on the TNW stage at the conference.
Yes, I was the one, and it was a really great session, actually, to be able to talk about impactful technology like that. It was, I really enjoyed it.
And obviously, during the conference, we don't get that much time to go see each other's session or listen to any session.
Absolutely not.
So I look very much forward to hearing the interview as well. I'd like to hand over the word now to you and tell us about a story that we covered this week.
Well, I think this will come as no surprise, but I'd like to talk about the EU's AI Act. It entered into force last week, so it's pretty big news. As you know already, it's the world's first comprehensive regulation on artificial intelligence.
Yeah, so, and I think we have mentioned the act a few times on the show before, but I think it's such a milestone marker in the developments over the past few years and also in the developments to come. So I think it bears talking about and reminding ourselves what it is, what it actually is and what it does.
Yeah, so I think this time that it has entered into force, we can talk a bit further about what it really entails and what it means for companies. So it's already evident that we're talking about a series of rules on how companies should both develop and use AI. Interestingly, it doesn't simply apply to EU-based businesses, but to any company that provides services in the bloc. And overall, another topic that has been discussed a lot is that the measures the Act sets are based on different risk levels.
So what are these risk levels exactly?
Okay, first we have minimal risk AI systems. This is the majority of the AI systems, actually. One example is spam filters or recommendation tools. In this case, there are no obligations for companies.
So they can basically carry on what they've been doing when it comes to chatbots, for example.
Not chatbots per se,
okay.
because then we have the second category, the limited risk group, which includes chatbots. Exactly. Or AI generated text, video, audio, and so on. In this case, there are requirements for transparency. So providers need to inform users that they're talking with an AI, or that the content, regardless of what it is artificially generated. And then this is where things are getting a bit more complicated. The third group is high risk AI technology used specifically in areas such as healthcare, employment, education, and law enforcement. Some examples are AI tools for robotic surgery, recruitment, or exam scoring. The strictest rules apply here. There are the requirements for risk assessment, risk management, detailed documentation, and overall very active human oversight.
Okay.
And lastly, we have the unacceptable risk systems like social scoring and predictive policing, and these are banned altogether.
And where does generative or general purpose AI fall under these categories?
Well, it's a bit more complicated, actually. Generative AI, like chatbots, or like the technology powering ChatGPT and so on, fall mostly under the second category, the limited risk group. So we have these transparency requirements. Nevertheless, for the more capable models, there are additional rules for risk management. So these are conducting tests and evaluations, reporting serious incidents, having increased measures for cybersecurity, and so on.
Okay, so we're talking about some very significant requirements here, and it's obviously going to cost companies a lot of money to implement these kinds of like compliance. So how has the tech industry reacted to the act so far?
Well, to put it simply, reactions are mixed. So we have a number of European businesses that have raised objections since the Act's proposal. They are concerned that these rules will inhibit Europe's innovation and competitiveness in the sector, and especially in the sector that moves very, very fast. And this has to do both with the law's restrictions and the amount of work and cost, like you said, that it will take for companies to comply with these rules. There's also the other side that suggests that the Act sets a clear path towards responsible and trustworthy AI. But in any case, there's a general consensus that the AI Act will have a global impact, and it might be that we'll see the domino effect of GDPR. Or it's also possible that the Act will stimulate opposite innovation-based approaches, such as the one the UK is currently following. Practically, the majority of the rules start applying from August 2026, and the ban of unacceptable risk AI tools will begin in 6 months, and it's the one that takes effect the soonest.
Okay, so let's hope no one decides to implement these tools to the best of their ability for 6 months.
Yeah, let's hope not.
And also that, I mean, it does give companies some time to set up their compliance measures and start to look into what exactly needs to happen for them not to be fined. I think is it up to 7% of the global annual turnover?
It's 7%, and there have been efforts for adequate time and tools for companies to be able to comply. And for smaller companies like startups and SMEs, there are also some regulatory sandboxes that reduce a bit the requirements or provide further support.
Okay, that's very helpful, at least, especially when dealing something so comprehensive as this.
Yes, precisely.
So you mentioned medical devices or medical systems and robotic surgery, etc. And I actually want to talk about robotic surgery.
Okay,
today.
That's pretty cool.
I wanted to highlight.
Now, this is a lengthy, I just realized this is about a 40-minute conversation here. This is my first time listening to it, so I'm just going to let it rock out, And by chance, if you get bored, well, you can go and check out a YouTube video that speaks about kitties or some kind of comic relief video if you want, But if you're a serious-minded brother or sister, then you hang tight and listen to this, because this is the wave of the future, of the near future. Anyway,
A story that we didn't get the chance to.
Yeah, just pay attention, and this is the wave of the future, of the near future. They're working on this thing, and this is prophecy. All right, believe it or not. All right, Ripley's Believe It. Look up Ripley's Believe It or Not. All right, this is what the Lord showed the Apostle John while he was on the island of Patmos. He showed him a series of revelations dealing with the future, things that haven't even happened yet. Okay, so it's showing you that the our power, Yahweh and His Son Yahushua, they are far out, man. There used to be a saying, back in the hippie era, late 60s or whatever. They used to say, "Far out, man, far out, dude." Well, the Heavenly Father and His Son, they're far out to the point where they're able to reveal unto man what's going to happen way into the future, man. Just like the M.O.T.B.
Who exactly is making these robots?
So these modular surgical robots are made by a company called CMR Surgical. It's a British medical device company. They're based in Cambridge, and they were founded in 2014, and they achieved unicorn status in 2019. The system enhances precision through small surgical instruments, which have robot-assisted manual control, and then a magnified screen for better visibility. And so this combination should allow surgeons to perform minimally invasive procedures with greater accuracy. And the Versi system was launched 2 years ago, and it is already in use across several NHS sites, as well as a private hospital in the UK, but it has thus far only been used when operating on adults. And this is the first time that it's been used for pediatric care. And this means that there are potential benefits for children, like faster recovery times, less post-operative pain, and shorter hospital stays. And so the hope is that this will help us see an increase in minimally invasive surgeries for children across the UK. And according to the pediatric surgeon, it was a success, and Reese was able to go home the following day. His parents said he was understandably nervous ahead of the operation, but also a little excited about the fact that a robot would be operating on him. And they were thrilled to see Reese's quick recovery.
Yeah, I mean, this represents a very good example of how important robotics.
It sounds all good. It sounds all gravy, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's happy. You got children getting how would you say, so-called healed, if you will, with this technology, and people are just all happy, man. And happily they live happily ever after, right? It's one of those type of stories, right? But no, wrong. Okay, the military already got their filthy hands on this technology. They have invested billions into it, way before anybody else. All right, they are the military. You got DARPA. Okay, I mentioned this before. You can look it up for yourself. You got top military contracting agencies that have already invested in this technology. So when this technology is in full operation, okay, with no kinks, they are going to be the first ones to utilize it. They're going to utilize it on the troops. Okay, they're going to utilize it on their robots. They're going to utilize it on the civilian population of the world. Okay. And then comes the that's the fulfilling of the prophecy that's saying that the vision that Saint John saw. That Yahushai, Yahushai being whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, showed him. Okay, nearly 2,000 years ago, man. All right. So look, man, there's a real spiritual force operating here. Okay, and Esau, a man on earth, all right, it's not gonna be able to stop the what's about to happen to Esau, Edom, man. Okay, nobody's gonna be able to save this damn devil. All right, and there's not gonna be no mercy. Like one of the Illuminati slogan is "Expect no mercy." Well, that's really the slogan of the Lord and His Son. Expect no mercy, Esau, because you didn't show no mercy. You see.
Surgery will be in the future of healthcare. So if we focus a bit on what's happening currently, how common is robotic surgery now?
Well, it has been growing steadily, to say the least. So between 2012 and 2022, the proportion of surgical procedures in the US that were carried out using robotic technology rose from 0% to 22%.
That's really big.
And according to a 22 report from the International Federation of Robotics, the market for medical robots, including surgical systems, is expected to grow significantly in the coming years, driven by advancements in technology and increasing demand for minimally invasive procedures. And the market for surgical robots in 2021 was just over $5 billion US. By 2030, it will be worth close to $21 billion.
Really?
Yes. So companies like CMR Surgical are quite likely to profit significantly from this increase in demand. And just a few decades ago, this would all have seemed like total science fiction, right? And now it's reality, and it's improving lives. And it's not just in surgery. The robotics and AI are transforming many areas of healthcare, from diagnostics to rehabilitation. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
I think so too. We're going to see very big things happening.
Yeah. On to our learnings of this week. What did you learn this week? Yeah?
So this week I learned something that isn't new at all.
Oh, okay.
It's not news.
If it's new to you,
but it's very new to me.
Then it's something you learned.
It's the existence of the annual Perseid meteor shower. It's considered to be the brightest display of shooting.
Yeah, well, those are the signs in the heavens. You see. And these two women, I take it, I've never seen them before, but whatever. I'm taking it that they are, of the other nations, and they're amazed at the signs of heaven, just like it says in Luke the 21st chapter. There's gonna be more signs in the heavens, that Esau they're gonna be what they call phenomenons, okay? Because see, Esau always like to put things in a scientific perspective. Right, in a scientific point of view, to enable them to explain certain things. Well, we're living in a time when they're not going to be able to explain certain things, because there's going to be things happening according to the spiritual things. Esau, Edom, they're not spiritual, they're carnal. There's going to be things happening that's going to be far out. They're not going to be able to understand it. Like Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh and his people, they weren't able to comprehend what was happening when the Lord was bringing the plagues upon him and his people, right? And the Lord sent, the prophet Moses, which was a Hebrew Israelite, by the way, of the tribe of Levi, by the way, to let him know what was happening. And the Most High kept on hardening Pharaoh's heart, softening Pharaoh's heart, hardening Pharaoh's heart, softening Pharaoh's heart, and at the end hardening it until he totally destroyed Pharaoh and his army and his people. Okay? And that's what's happening now. See, Esau, you should have... See, that's... that goes to show you that Esau, all the wisdom that he has, which... technically it's not wisdom. He has good knowledge, okay, because he searched things out, like the scripture have said. He's wiser than Daniel, but the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. You see, this dummy couldn't figure out his end, how he was gonna end up being destroyed. You see, so Esau has no power, man. He's merely a mortal man. That's it. That's all he is, man. He's less than a worm. And I say that because the Lord called Jacob a worm, and that's our forefather. So if we are worms, Esau Edom is less than a worm. All right? But let's see what else these people got to say.
Shooting stars, which sometimes even appear colorful, which I think is very fascinating. Well, what I didn't know is that the meteor shower occurs every year in July and August. This year in particular, it will peak before the dawn of August 12th.
So mark your calendars.
Exactly. And it's mostly visible in the northern hemisphere. So that's good
for us. Sorry, Australia, if you're listening.
The Perseids are space debris, essentially, left by comet Swift-Tuttle. It was discovered in 1862.
I love that name.
And this debris comes into the Earth's atmosphere. You can expect to see an average of 50 to 100 meteors per hour during the peak, which is really impressive. And the Perseids take their name from the constellation of Perseus, the point in the sky where they appear to come from. And here's a fun fact that's mythological, because I'm a bit of a nerd in that. Perseus is the ancient Greek hero that killed Medusa, who notoriously had snakes in the place of her hair and turned everyone who looked at her into stone.
It's a wonderful story, but it also has implications.
Yeah, well, here's a fun fact for you all. The missiles that are going to be shot off, the trails that they're going to leave behind, or that are going to be behind them of smoke and fire, look like the tails of snakes. That's why, according to the scriptures, they're known as the fiery flying serpents. And guess what else? Once that radiation lick up your ass, okay, burn up these people, okay, you're gonna turn into, well, I'm gonna say you're gonna turn into a stone, because that's what happened to Lot's wife. He became a pillar, a stone of salt. But this time around, there's gonna be nothing left. So I was just, trying to bring in some humor there. But all right, let's go.
As for how women were viewed a little bit across time. Yeah. So if you haven't read it with that lens on, I would go back and do that. But and now I cannot dare to try to pronounce the name of the hero, because Joanna is Greek and has said it perfectly. But this is quite interesting, or quite fun, that our learnings are a little bit related, and we had no idea that we were what the other person was going to talk about. So first of all, I learned that Joanna has not read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I haven't.
So now we have also learned what I'm getting her for her next birthday. But also, unfortunately, this means that she might not appreciate my learning very much. But I'm hoping that there are some other Douglas Adams fans out there who will, if they didn't know this already. I just think that Swift-Tuttle is a name that would have done very well in Hitchhiker's.
I'm gonna just skip through the BS. I'm trying to see if they speak any more on the brain computer interface, the BCIs at all. Because that's all that I was interested in. And for the edifying of this lesson, for the flock. So let's see what else they talk about here.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
This literature break we're having.
Now let's move to today's featured interview with Jennifer Goodall, CEO at Mind Effect.
Hello everyone, my name is Joanna. I'm a reporter at TNW, and joining me on stage is Jennifer Goodall. She's the CEO of Mind Effect, an extremely groundbreaking company, I would say. There is going to be a short time allocated to questions, and I will let you know when that is. In the meantime, Jennifer and I will talk about a very interesting topic. It's about what's the potential of brain-computer interface technology in healthcare. Perhaps, Jennifer, you could start with a short explanation of what brain-computer interface technology is to anyone that might be unfamiliar with it.
So, good afternoon. Welcome to this amazing event. So, just a quick disclaimer. I basically know nothing about brain-computer interface. But I'm going to give it my best shot because my specialty is how to use the technology in the real world. So brain-computer interface is essentially a bunch of computer software that analyzes the brain's response. And the other key part of brain-computer interface is it takes that brain's response and transmits it to an external device like a computer, and therefore uses the person's brain response to maybe create a speller, so this person who can't speak can communicate, or it can be used potentially to move robots, or in some cases, for example, in healthcare, even an external prosthetic limb. So that's brain-computer interface officially, and the way, should I go on? So the way we use it though, so I have an entire team of AI scientists who really understand this extremely well. We have a brain-computer interface system that was developed, took about 10 years. It was developed at the Donders Institute at Radboud University. It was brought out of the university, and what we use brain-computer interface for is we really use the engine of the analysis of the brain's response. We don't use the front end where it controls a machine or an external device. And what we've added onto it is a front end where we would input stimuli. So what we thought was really interesting and an amazing way to use brain-computer interface, the engine or the core of what it is if we can present, for example, auditory stimuli, we can analyze the brain's isolated response to that stimuli. We can actually see very clearly without the person or the child or the infant, without them doing a thing, we can actually see if they heard or in some cases saw the stimuli that we have put into the patient. And that's what we do.
That's fascinating and quite complex. So you are active in diagnostics, and especially hearing impairments and soon to be vision impairments as well. Why did you choose this field? Were there gaps or problems in current methods that you wanted to address?
Okay, so full disclaimer, we started down, when I walked into the company, they had this brilliant brain-computer interface system, but they had no robust commercial application. So they brought me in and said, hey, what can you do with this? So I said, I have no idea. What do you guys think we can do? So we sat around and we can use it for 100 things or more. And I said, okay, I should have maybe started the way you suggest, which is what's a problem and how can we solve it? But I said, well, I come from the investment banking world, so I thought, well, money talks and bullshit walks. So what we can get money for, those are the projects or prototypes that we will build with our engine. And we were very lucky, and we got a very large R&D pilot project with one of the world's largest hearing aid manufacturers, GN Resound. So we, surprise, surprise, we started building the system for hearing. The second was we got a wonderful grant from the RVO to do a second idea, which was to use it for vision. And I thought, well, at least one will work out. You know, you're always better off with maybe two with a platform technology. And they both ended up getting validated. However, just so you know, the hearing system in your head is a little bit easier and has fewer moving parts than your visual system. So our hearing system was easier to produce. The technology was more robust. It was validated more easily and more quickly. So we're going to bring that product to the market first. Oh, and by the way, there's also a huge problem, thankfully, that we can solve and have a huge commercial opportunity.
And what is the problem?
So this is funny. What I found amazing, and perhaps you guys will as well, unless you're parents of a child with a hearing problem. Did you know that we still expect a 2.5-year-old child to get the same hearing test that you get when you go into Beethoven or one of these audiology tests? They're presented with a peep, and they expect the little kid to raise their hand perfectly and consistently 100 times to figure out whether that child can hear across all the different frequencies to exactly determine, does this child have a hearing problem, or are they just misbehaving in class because they're a jerk? So this is what's so shocking, that I couldn't believe it, that we are still relying on incredibly old-fashioned response-based hearing and vision diagnostics. So that's the current standard. With our system, we put a little headband on a child. The photos are so cute, by the way. They watch a cartoon silently. We put on headphones, and within 5 to 7 minutes, we just pipe in the chirps. We see the child's brain response, and within 7 minutes, we get a perfect curve of exactly how well this child can hear. So it's pretty cool.
It's definitely cool, and from what I understand, it's completely non-invasive.
Completely non-invasive unless you count wearing headphones and listening to tones. Exactly, yeah, absolutely. Which is, yeah, extremely cool.
It's very impactful, and I'm wondering, what was the process of validating this technology or the testing that it had to undergo?
So we are still in development. We expect to be completely finished with development by the end of this year. Next year, certification.
Just to let y'all know that technically we are in the early stages of this technology, but they're working fast. They're working fast at it to perfect it. So they're doing a whole. This is the beginning. It's a tech race to see who can perfect this thing the most, and obviously it's gonna be Esau Edom, because it's the beast. I'ma call the beast on you. It's the beast. That's an inside joke. It's the beast that's gonna administer this thing. Okay, the other nations, they're just second, third, fourth, fifth runners up. But it's Esau Edom that's going to be in charge of this thing, okay? And just got to put that out there, because, you get, the Chinese, the Koreans, and no. The ones who are going to be administering this CHIP, this M.O.T.B, is Esau Edom. So get that right. Get that straight. Okay? So we're living in interesting times. If you're paying attention, there's a lot going on with these different war fronts that are happening. Okay, with dealing with Russia, Ukraine, what's happening with Israel and the Palestinians, and with Israel and Iran, and they trying to get the U.S. involved. There's things happening. It's the look. At the same time, though, this is happening. Okay, there's a war front dealing with these, getting these CHIPs tested, testing them on people. Human clinical trials, making sure that there's no kinks, there's no bugs, and then they're gonna start rolling this thing out. So we have to pay attention to this, because this is prophecy. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to prophecy, man. Fuck the Olympics. Okay, the Olympics, the 2024 Olympics in Paris, France. All right, that's interesting. It's for those of you who are into sports, and man, get your mind focused on this. Okay? All that shit is bread and circuses. You know about the bread and circuses. If you don't, look up Bread and Circuses of Rome, and it was created primarily to keep you distracted from the real shit that's happening in the world, man. Okay?
Certification, and then we hit the market with a medically certified product in 2026. So the first step is, gee, can we find a consistent brain response when we present somebody with a sound? So we have a little lab in our office, and so all of us have been tested about 1,000 times to perfect the algorithms and the analysis. And the type of stimuli, that's also really important. How do you choose your stimuli? How fast can you present it? But this is tested, first you do it in-house, and then we do students at Radboud and various places. And now we have graduated, which of course makes the most sense. We've graduated to, our validation studies are being done at the University of Oldenburg Horzentrum, which is the leading hearing research group in Europe. And we're also hoping to work with UMC, University Medical Center of Utrecht and Radboud. And we just got back from a super exciting, really energizing week testing our system at the largest pediatric hospital in Italy, which was the Myers Children's Hospital in Florence. So it's really special.
And I understand that the potential of this technology is that it is more effective, first of all. Is it faster as well?
Well, depends what you compare it to. For example, everybody in this crowd, you look like you can speak or at least raise your hand appropriately. I don't know. I assume so. So if I were going to take you and give you our hearing test, I think you'd enjoy it much more. It takes around 7 to 8 minutes. You pick a video that you like to watch silently, and before you know it, the test is over. Your choice would be, you raise your hand or push a button 100 times, and you'll get the same result in about the same amount of time. Now, if you want to do a child of 3.5 who maybe has other issues as well, because a lot of these things are joined together, let me tell you, we were at the Myers Children's Hospital, and these ladies were like hearing test ninjas. I mean, they were giving a test to a little one who didn't want to sit there anyway, so then they had to sit on the mother's lap. And then when they heard a sound, sometimes they'd look up at their mom, sometimes they'd look at, the ear that it was coming into. And if they did, then they potentially would be rewarded with a cartoon character. I mean, and if that didn't work, she had a box of things like a cowbell. She had rattles, and she's trying to figure out which ear, right ear, left ear. Did they look like they heard it a lot or just a little or at all? And at a certain point, the kid just stops. And so it's absolutely incredible. Our test obviously is a lot faster, easier, and, will be more accurate than that. For very serious cases, there does exist in the marketplace an older brain response hearing test, which is even more shocking. So this technology is so old that the patient actually has to be completely immobilized. So either the patient has to undergo general anesthesia and sit there with, the world's slowest input for an hour before you can get an idea of how well this person can hear. Or in the Myers Children's Hospital, because they don't want to give anesthesia to all these kids, and they do like this objective test, they ask the parent to keep the child awake most of the night before, so that when they go in for the test, the baby sleeps.
See, and this is why, women, so this is why women, shouldn't be doing podcasts. There's a lot of goddamn emotions and talking, Just get to the mother effing point. That's all you gotta do. So anyway, man, I think I got frustrated. I think I zoned out a long time ago. I zoned out a long time ago. But the point is there, and I'm sorry, brothers, for letting this go on as long as I did. I should have cut it a long time ago. But this is the reason why men are gonna come back into rulership and power to put women back in their place, okay? Because it's just too much goddamn emotions and femininity and what the fuck they feel and all this bullshit. Just get to the mother effing point, okay? Dealing with the other lady probably fell asleep. You know, like what the f happened, man? Anyway, uh, I'm gonna end it there. Okay, I'm just, like I said, this is M.O.T.B news, man. I'm just trying to, through the spirit, stay in tune with what the hell's going on with this thing. All right, and you know, just staying on top of our watchtower. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do, man. Okay, and because Esau has an agenda. Okay, and they don't sleep. The wicked don't sleep, man. But you know who sleeps, man? Our people do. All right, 24/7. Okay, they don't give a shit about what the f is going on until it smacks them in their face, right? Or in their forehead, or in their right hand. All right, get it? So with that, I'm gonna say shalom. This is Bishop Teacher, aka Junior Apostle of Great Millstone, signing off. Shalom. Stay tuned for the next one.